cats, what's happening? Did you like my stunts? Really, don't try that at home. Probably would be the last time I try it too. But I was, just thinking about some of the craziest motorcycle riders in the world. And I think back when I was a kid, I had my Yamaha 175 Enduro. Got a picture of it here. Right there. I got to be pretty good at riding that thing. I could run a wheelie down the road and shift through the gears without bringing the front wheel down, and was pretty good at it. Nowadays, I think I've lost that knack. We used to take it out in the field, and we even had these dirt jumps, the like motocross jumps. I think my biggest jump was measured at 27 feet. When we were kids, we'd take turns and see how far we could jump, try to break the next kid's record. And after I went 27 feet through the air and landed it, that was enough for me. I'm not big on broken bones, you know what I mean. One of the earliest, craziest bikers that I can remember was Knievel, when I was a kid growing up, jumping over the buses and the cars. I think his record jump was 141 feet on his XR 750 Harley Davidson, where he jumped over the fountain at Caesar's Palace. I think that guy had every bone in his body broken at the end of his career of jumping motorcycles. But the Young Bucks moved in and really shattered that record over the years. Again, in Las Vegas, an Australian kid, Robbie Madison, broke the record by jumping 322 feet. That's like halfway down my driveway. That's how far he flew through the air before he landed again. That's insane. Now, to ride in motocross, you got to be a little crazy too. You just really got to knuckle down and pour the throttle on, and you're going to have some whoopies, you're going to have some air, and you are really going to fly. And it's a dangerous sport too. A lot of guys get wrangled up and hurt pretty bad doing motocross, especially in the championship races. Ricky Carmichael was known as the GOAT, the greatest of all time motocross racer. And he rides, or rode, I don't know if he still does, but he was riding for the Kawasaki team. And if you've ever watched any of his races, he's a little insane on the throttle, and has a little more courage than I do to be running that hard. You take motocross one step further and you get into the freestyle, where the guys jump the bikes, and then while they're flying through the air, they do all these tricks, like the Superman, where they're hanging off the back of the bike with their legs up in the air, or, flips where they actually flip the bike and land it. You may be familiar with Travis Pastrana. He's involved in all kinds of things, but he was one of the ones who initially started that freestyle jumping, flying through the air and doing all the crazy tricks. And from there, it just blew up. And now you got all kinds of guys competing in that and I'm sure there's a few broken bones that comes with that sport too. Some of the craziest road races that I've seen, the super bikes on the asphalt track going around, where they lean the bike down into those corners so tight. I never was real fond of the twisties, some of you guys really like the curves and leaning into them and seeing how fast you can run through the twisties. I'm not too fond of that. When I was younger, I did that, but there was a couple incidents where, I was leaning too far, and one time I started to do a power slide sideways, and that took the wind out of me, scared me to death. Another time, actually, I was in Sturgis, and I was on the Spearfish Canyon, and I was leaning into a turn on this bike right here, and as I was halfway through the turn, I hit some kind of a pothole or something, and that almost took me across the yellow line into oncoming traffic, and that scared the whiz out of me too. So I can really respect these guys on these super bikes who are going, you know, well over 100 miles an hour, leaning into these curves and side by side with each other where they're bumping shoulders actually. And I mean, they actually tap bikes sometimes, and it's just pretty crazy. It gets pretty cutthroat. Those guys are insane. They're out of their mind. It takes a certain breed to be able to do that. Jonathan Rio is one of those super bike riders. He has won, I think, somewhere in the area of 112 different wins in that super bike circuit. Pretty impressive. That's a lot of riding. A lot of fast riding. And if we take that up a notch, Giacomo Agostini had, I think, 122 wins in the Grand Prix circuit, and also has won the Isle of Man TT race 10 times. Now, I don't know if you've ever watched the Isle of Man TT race, and if you haven't, after you're done watching this, get on there and search for the Isle of Man TT races and watch. That is the most insane motorcycle racing I've ever seen in my life. These bikes are going over 135 miles an hour on a country road circuit. In other words, there's curves, there's hills. They come over these hills and both wheels are off the ground before they land again with these super bikes. And I mean, a lot of guys lose their life in this race. It's that dangerous. I don't even understand how anybody could be that insane to ride the Isle of Man TT race. There's a kid by the name of Joey Dunlop who won 26 TT wins. Unfortunately for him, he lost it on a wet road on his bike and slid into the trees, and lights out. That was the end of the line for him. You may have heard of Valentino Rossi too. He's a very prolific MotoGP rider, you know, on the super bike circuit. He's had numerous wins. He's really an incredible guy to watch on the race circuit, and he's won many like world championship races. It's interesting to watch. You know, when they go around these curves, sometimes they'll go so fast that they'll actually they're leaning so hard in these curves, they'll actually power slide. The bikes will actually slide sideways as they're cutting through the curve. That's impressive. At that speed, with that kind of power on that kind of a bike, being able to slide it on dry asphalt around a corner, that's scary. That takes some guts, some extreme courage, some no fear, as I used to call it. Now, one of the other sports that I don't think is highly as dangerous, I think maybe you'll end up with a few skinned knees or maybe some skinned elbows, is this new sport of stunt riding. If you'll watch, again, there's some videos out there. One of the top in the country is, or in the world, is Martin Glowacki. Martin Glowacki. And he is an incredible stunt rider. I mean, he can sit in one place without putting his feet down and do a burnout, spinning around in a circle, stand it up on one wheel and spin around in circles, ride standing up backwards, you know, like the old Indian Larry trick. The guy is an incredible stunt rider. You know, I think my stunt riding days are over. Yeah, I've had it with that kind of stuff for now. I'm just going to stick with my cruiser here, my Harley Fat Boy. Keep it on two wheels, no jumping. You won't see me hitting any hard twisties on this. I just like to take it slow and easy. You might see me flying around the yard on the mini bike, but as far as my days of jumping and wheelies, those days are done. Those days are done. Well, thanks for watching my video today, cats. I appreciate your attendance. I appreciate all your support. Give my video a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, please subscribe, and we'll keep you interested with more videos coming down the line. Until next time, cats, ride hard and die free.